Welcome to the Unsleever. In today's video, I will show you queer artists from my collection to celebrate Pride Month. The LGBTQIA+ community has gifted us amazing music throughout history, and thankfully we live in a time where more and more artists are comfortable sharing who they are, regardless of their gender identity or sexual orientation. However, we still have a long way to go in fighting discrimination and attaining equality for everyone. So I think it's essential to celebrate any chance we can. Full disclosure, I have only included artists from my collection that I really enjoy listening to. Hopefully you will find a couple of new ones that you didn't know before. This is by no means a definitive list of queer artists because we would probably be here all day. But I hope you enjoy the video, so here we go. The first album I want to recommend came out just a few weeks ago. I'm talking about Lynks' Abomination. This is their debut album after launching their career in 2020 and having released a bunch of EPs leading up to it. The album's title aims to reclaim the word abomination as a sort of badge of honor. They chose it because this is the word used for homosexuality in the Bible. The album is full of upbeat songs and I really love the humor in the lyrics, while still tackling topics that we don't often hear about in music. This vinyl edition was exclusive to Lynks store and it comes in a single sleeve. Inside, two double-sided printed inserts, one of which is signed by them, and a sleeve with lyrics. The sound on this record is quiet and very well balanced. My favorite tracks are Use It or Lose It, What Do You Expect from Sex with a Stranger, and Small Talk. Next on my list is an artist I reconnected with after a long time. I'm talking about J-pop icon Hikaru Utada. I first heard of them with their first English album, Exodus, in 2004, which to this day is still one of my favorite albums. Then in 2022 they released Bad Mode, and during the promotion of this album they came out as non-binary, in part to raise awareness on the topic in Japan. They released a best-of this year with some new tracks and re-recordings of some of their biggest hits, and this is coming out on vinyl at the end of June, so I still don't have it, but I will show you the CD edition, which I have here. And I don't collect CDs that much, but I couldn't resist buying this because it's so cool. So one of the reasons why I decided to get this is that the presentation is not your usual CD packaging. It's bigger than CD cases, I would say around 7-inch. The holographic cover and the slipcase with the printed tracklist are such a nice touch. Then we have the two CDs and a glossy booklet with some gorgeous imagery. I really hope the vinyl edition follows in this direction. My favorite tracks are the new mixes of Colors and Sakura Drops, the re-recording of Travelin', and I love the two new songs Electricity and A Flower of No Color. Planningtorock is a musical project of Jan Rostron, a trans and non-binary artist with a very prolific career in electronic and pop music. The album that I have chosen is 2014's All Love's Legal. It is a very political album, and I always saw it as a companion piece to The Knives' Shaken the Habitual from the year before. It is also a special album for me because it includes one song called Human Drama, which really helped me in my process of identifying as non-binary. So for that, I will always be thankful to Jam. This album comes in a single sleeve and in pink transparent vinyl. So pretty simple, but thankfully it sounds great. There are a few pops on side B, but nothing too bad. My favorite tracks are Human Drama, Let's Talk About Gender Baby, Steps, and Public Love. After having it on my want list for a very long time, my partner gifted me the next pressing for my birthday last year. I'm talking about Scissor Sisters' Nightwork. This album was the soundtrack of my summer in 2010 alongside Kylie's Aphrodite. And I love that they chose a Robert Mapplethorpe photo of dancer Peter Reed, who sadly died of complications with AIDS at the age of 40. According to Jake Shears, Nobody wanted them to use this as the cover of their album, with management, the record label, and even his band members opposing the decision. Thankfully, they ended up going with it, despite creating a lot of controversy with conservative people. This limited numbered edition was released by Music on Vinyl in 2015, and to date, it has not received any other pressings. It is a gorgeous edition with a gatefold that comes with a glossy finish. Inside there are photos taken from a live performance, and the 4-page booklet includes lyrics. The record is this beautiful blue marbled color that matches the artwork really well, and the sound here is amazing. Really good dynamics and quiet. As a fun fact, Kylie Minogue sings backing vocals on one of my favorite songs, Any Which Way. Other favorites are Fire with Fire, Sex and Violence, and Invisible Light. If people were scandalized by Scissor Sisters' album cover, they would lose their minds with the next one. Unfortunately, I don't think I can even show it to you here without my video being taken down, but you can look for it on Discogs and see it in all its glory. I'm talking about Fischerspooner's Sir, which is their fourth and to date their last studio album. This vinyl edition was limited to 500 and it was released as part of the activities of an exhibition they did in Germany at the NAK, Neue Aachener Kunstverein. And if you haven't listened to Fischerspooner, I highly recommend this album and their previous ones. As I mentioned, this edition was limited to only 500 copies and it came signed by the members of the group. I got number 200. It is a single sleeve and it also includes a signed postcard. Despite the simple packaging, the quality is really nice with a thick matte paper on the sleeve and heavyweight vinyl. The sound is pretty spectacular, and this is basically the only way I like to listen to this album, as it really comes alive through a great mastering. Possibly one of the best sounding pressings in my collection. My favorite tracks are Top Brazil, Everything Is Just Alright, and Butterscotch Goddamn. The next artist is someone who has released 2 albums so far, both amazing, and it was a little bit difficult to pick which one to go with for this video, but I ended up going for her second album called Forevher. Shura has shown an incredible talent in crafting pop songs since her very first EP, and for this album they left behind the 80s synths from the debut and went for a more funk-influenced sound to tell us a story of falling in love and all the wonderful things that come with it. The cover is said to be inspired by a Rodin sculpture called The Keys, but I always saw more of an influence from Edvard Munch's Vampire. Maybe that's just me. This is a rough trade exclusive limited to 300 copies. I love this cyanotype look in all the photos. It comes in a gatefold and is printed in thick matte paper. In the full photo inside the gatefold I can see the Rodin inspiration better. Then there's this inner sleeve which comes with lyrics and the blue haze vinyl, which I personally find super beautiful. The sound is pretty good, although there is a bit of crackling in parts, but nothing too annoying. My favorite tracks are Side Effects, Religion, You Can Lay Your Hands on Me, Tommy, and Skyline Be Mine. It took me 5 years to get into St. Vincent's music, but I got there in the end. And the album that made me a fan is 2017's Masseduction. There is a lot of variety in the album, both in terms of music and in lyrical content. It took her a few years to complete, and one can really tell because everything about it is very detailed and meticulously intentional. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I hate PVC sleeves. This was a limited deluxe edition and they almost got me with a printed name and track list on the outside, which is really cool. But I still hate it. It's just so flimsy. The record is loose without any sleeve, but the cover is actually a big foldable poster. And there is a set of stickers and a really cool booklet with photos and lyrics. This could have been a great addition. All the elements are there, but the lack of an inner sleeve to house the record and no proper sleeve put it down. But the worst of all is the sound. This is a pretty bad pressing with a muffled and lifeless sound with lots of distortion. It's basically unlistenable to me, so unless you are a big St. Vincent fan or want to have the other perks of this edition, don't buy it. My favorite songs on the album are Masseduction, Los Ageless, New York and Slow Disco. The Brat came out in 2020 after more than 20 years of rumors and speculation. I read on an interview with Variety magazine that she decided to stay in the closet all those years and only decided to come out after discussing with her now wife. This is a good reminder to not make assumptions on anyone and let them decide when or if they want to come out. I have chosen her second album, Anuthatantrum, because the first time I ever listened to a song from The Brat was Ghetto Love with T-Boss, included here, but I also think this is my favorite album from her. This is the original pressing from 1996 and it's pretty simple. One single sleeve and printed inner sleeve in black and white in flimsy paper. Overall it's a decent pressing, although I think it could do with a better mastering. My favorite songs are Sitting on Top of the World, Let's All Get High, Just a Little Bit More and Ghetto Love. Chilean singer Javiera Mena has been very open about her sexuality since the beginning of her career. For her, it is important to be openly lesbian as she understands that as a very political thing to do. She has been delivering bops from the early days, and her fifth album, Nocturna, continues in that tradition. As a fun fact, she was a candidate to represent Spain at the Eurovision Song Contest, with her song Culpa included in this album. But in the end, it was Chanel with Slow Mo who represented Spain that year. When I got this, I thought the hologram would be the entire cover, so I was sad to see it's so tiny. Still cool though. The album comes with an inner printed sleeve with lyrics. In terms of sound, this is pretty good, with great dynamics and very quiet. My favorite tracks are La Isla de Lesbos, Dunas, Me Gustas Tú, Corazón Astral and Culpa. The next album on my list came out in 2012 and still to this day I love to get lost in it. I'm talking about Swedish duo The Sound of Arrows and their debut album Voyage or Voyage. I don't know how to pronounce it. Through cinematic soundscapes, 80s influence, and a sense of melancholy, they created a beautiful pop record. Unfortunately, I think it's been a little bit forgotten, so this is my little contribution to bring more awareness to it. And at the beginning of the year, we heard the exciting news that founding member Stefan Storm has been working together with Alison Goldfrapp on new music for her second album, so I cannot wait to listen to it. This is the original pressing that comes in a gatefold and plain inner sleeves. This is a 45 RPM pressing, expanding the 11 tracks of the album into 2 discs. A bit annoying to get up every 3 tracks, but worth it for the sound. It sounds amazing and very full with only a few pops in a couple of moments. My favorite tracks are Into the Clouds, Wonders, Longest Ever Dream, Conquest and Nova. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please share with your friends, like, subscribe, all of that. You can also leave some recommendations on the comments of your favorite queer musicians. Thanks for watching, see you next time, and happy Pride! Next on my list is an artist that This is by no means a definitive list of art of alongside Kylie's Aphrodite. I feel like my hair is losing energy. This is by no love that they chose a rubble. There is a lot of variety. Is it cringe? It was. I need a beer. At the Eurovision. Oh, the album was produced by Michael Stipe. Moby, Michael Stipe. Moby. Is it cringe?